Good evening, Crimson Tide Nation, and welcome to the 54th edition of the Alabama Crimson Tide Live call-in show from yours truly, Jackson Johnson and Jeffrey at Only Talk Sports, as we always, on Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern, take your calls on the Alabama Crimson Tide. And let me tell you, we've got some great news to discuss with all of you. And let me tell you something, folks, you're going to be in for a wild ride, as you are every Thursday night. How you doing tonight, good buddy?
I'm doing great, Jackson. It's been a great day in the sports world. Number one, Jam Miller is looking like he's going to play versus Tennessee, which that's great. Glad that he hopefully is going to be back. That he's a very key member of our team. But I know breaking the rules of the show, but Kurt Signetti, baby, I told you people that he was gonna get an extension. Oh, Indiana's not a good job. Oh, Penn State. I knew it. I knew that he was not leaving for Penn State. Indiana is here to stay in college football. They're not going anywhere. Kurt Signetti get a statue built of himself at Indiana. So good things are rolling for Indiana. No, he's not going to Florida. He's not coming to Bama. We got our guy, DeBoer. He's a great coach. We're fine. But Indiana is fine as well. I just wanted to get that out of my chest because
there we go.
That is massive. Massive day in the sports world. Hopefully we talk about that on the college show. I mean, this is a college show with an Alabama-centered perspective. So,
and if Alabama beat Tennessee and Tuscaloosa again, got a little something to celebrate with it on Saturday. Oh, yeah.
Wow, look at Jackson.
First time cigar smoker. Usually I don't mess around with that stuff, but in this case, Alabama, Tennessee, I make an exception. But we've got humongous lineup tonight as we will go 7-minute calls as we've got Alabama Richie first on the line. How you doing tonight, good buddy?
Hey, not too bad, you guys. Shout out to Godfather real quick. Always supporting as well, so shout out to you, brother. Happy to be with you guys as always. It makes the week 10 times better. So curious to hear your guys' thoughts first, and then on both sides, the Signetti news, and then the past game and this weekend, and I'll go after that.
I mean, with the Signetti news, I mean, my thoughts is like, again, people just keep undervaluing Indiana as a university, and they undervalue the changes that have been made in college sports. College sports are not the same. I mean, without NIL, as much as I've talked trash about NIL and the portal and all the other moves that have been made that have completely made college football the way that it is right now, which a lot of the moves have not been for the better. When it comes to Indiana and other programs that don't normally win, Vanderbilt, it's helped big time. It's given them a chance to win. It's given them a path, a very attainable path to win. And yes, Indiana just somehow hired a guy that was in his 60s that nobody had ever given a chance before. That doesn't normally happen. At the same time, I don't think pre-NIL era, pre-portal era, Signetti's able to do what he's done with this turnaround. I don't see that. And this happened just like this. Indiana was 3-9 2 years ago, barely beating Akron in 4 overtimes. And now they're a playoff team. Right now, Indiana is the number 1 ranked team according to like every metric, with a bunch of 3-stars. It doesn't even make sense. But they got good players. They got seemingly every player in college football that was undervalued that no one thought was any good. And they're good. And now Signetti was coveted. We knew it was going to happen. He was coveted last year. That's why you gave him the extension. And the thing is for people to go out there and say, well, Penn State didn't want him. That's a load of crap. Indiana gave him an extension to avoid that. Again, Penn State did want him. IU short him up, and now he's basically unattainable. He's the 3rd highest paid coach in college football now. He's unattainable. He's with the DeBoers and the Kirby's Signetti's not going anywhere. And if Indiana keeps up the support, Indiana, who's to say they can't be as good as Alabama and these other programs? They can. It's all about support. Money's the game. And IU's got the biggest alumni base in the country, and they've got Cuban, and they've got a lot of other people that got money. IU is fine. And again, I know Bama fans don't want to hear that, but IU is not going anywhere. They are legitimate. They're good. And, I mean, again, Signetti's not leaving. He's staying at Indiana. If this was old Indiana, he would have left. But Indiana is different because of NIL and the portal, the dollar bill. That's why we need to keep up Alabama in that regard, because we'll fall behind if we don't. It's all about money. That's why Texas Tech's winning. Texas Tech wasn't doing squat before this season. So it's completely changed the ballgame. Penn State fans don't understand it. They made a mistake firing James Franklin. I'm going to repeat. They made a mistake firing James Franklin, especially when they did. When they did was the biggest error of them all. Because now not only they lose all the players they had in their class, they're gone. You just lost your only good candidate. Outside of Urban Meyer, not happening. John Gruden, very unlikely. Who are you going to get? Matt Rule, a guy that don't win versus top 10 teams. Who are you going to get? I'm not seeing positive things for Penn State. I will be shocked if their next coach does better than James Franklin. There's a better chance Penn State ends up like Nebraska after Bo Pelini. Higher chance of that happening than them being better. You fire a coach to get better. That's what Indiana did with Tom Allen. They got Curt Cignetti, biggest turnaround in college ball history probably. What Penn State did was a flub up. That's what they just did. And again, only time will tell with their next coach. Because, again, I put my foot in my mouth if their next coach is good, but I doubt it. I think they screwed up. But they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. And I told people Cignetti wasn't going anywhere, and people didn't want to hear that either. The whole media said he was leaving. Again, I understand I'm not a big media person now. I don't care. I told people he wasn't going anywhere, and I was correct. He was not leaving. I said Indiana was going to pay him. He's not going to Bama. He's not going to Florida. He's not going to Texas. We should be happy with DeBoer. But if people were saying that after the FSU loss, which is pathetic. But it's dead. There's nothing else to say. Penn State screwed up. Indiana's among the big-time programs in college football now. And people are just going to have to deal with it. The media is going to have to deal with it. They don't like it. If Indiana lost this week somehow, they'd be thrilled. They'd be thrilled because they want to see IU fall apart. I don't know why media hates them. I don't get it. But like I said, it's a done deal. I'm super proud of Indiana. And, and on our side, we just got to keep playing well. Indiana does not affect us at Alabama. Again, two separate parallels. We're fine. DeBoer's fine. We just need to calm down, keep winning ball games, and we're going to be fine. But we're not Penn State. So be thankful we're not Penn State.
Agreed, absolutely. What's your thoughts, Jackson?
Well, it's a huge win for the Hoosiers, and, he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, and the thing that's so funny, sorry to interrupt, Jackson, but the thing that's so funny is there's an article after the extension from a major media outlet that said, well, this extension at Indiana does not mean that Curt Cignetti still might not leave. He literally just said he's going to retire at Indiana in his video press release. What is wrong with you people? Get over it. He's not going anywhere. He's not leaving Indiana. Like, I'm sorry, but these people got to stop with this crap. He's not leaving. I don't understand. These people are delusional for clicks. I don't know. It's sick. It makes me absolutely sick. That's bad journalism right there. Absolutely awful journalism. He's not going anywhere. It's over. It kills me. It just blows my mind how these people can actually write this crap and have literally no shame. It's kind of like that lady, that Heather Dinich lady who the preseason was like, oh, man, Indiana, they're frauds. You're not going to win. And now she's like, I think Indiana's the third best team in college football. Wow, you're saying that now after you have to say it. That's not a take. That's just you finally agreeing to something that was already proven before. So, again, just an absolutely terrible take by these people are insane. They just don't understand it. I'm still blown away IU's good. But the same people that were lobbying for all this NIL and the transfer portal and the 12-team playoff, they're the reason that Indiana's good right now. They did this. They manifested this. I didn't. I was against all this. And with the way I wanted football to remain, IU would still be 2-10. So my view was hurting a team I like. So, yeah, makes sense. It's again, they can't wrap their heads around the hypocrisy of their beliefs, of what they wanted football to become, all about the money. But now that the money is making IU good and Vandy and Duke's decent and Kansas is decent, they don't like it. It's insane. What you manifested is what you manifested, and now they don't like it. You got to deal with the results. I don't make the rules. I have no impact on the rules. None of us do. They did, and now they got to reap what they sow. So again, IU's good. They're gonna have to deal with it.
Yeah, first and foremost, I think that it's a step in the right direction for Indiana to me. I think that here's the thing. It's like Penn State firing Franklin when they did was a delusion because he just won 30-something games for him, 37 games. And then they sit back and go, oh, well, they can't win the big game. It's like he just took you to the college football semifinal. And once then he loses to UCLA, right? I thought this was really funny. And his excuse was, well, players quit on the team. That's the first dumb mistake he made. Then he sat there and made the mistake of trying to justify comments he's going to make about Drew Aller. Remember that? He's like, well, I don't talk to and this is a paraphrase, but you get what I mean. I don't talk to the family. I'm not allowed to release anything. It's like, brother, just admit it. Your quarterback's out for the rest of the season. You're playing a backup quarterback. Then the AD at Penn State goofed it up. He goes, well, we're wanting, this is another paraphrase, but you'll get what I mean. He goes, well, we wanted to see where are we at as a program, what direction. It's like, buddy, and no disrespect, you blew it. Because what you did was you fired a coach after all the Sandusky sanctions and all that crap that happened over there. You hired this guy. He turned the program around. He can't win the big game. He loses 2 funky games. The UCLA game, I didn't have Penn State favored in that game, even though Vegas had Penn State favored, right? So he was basically favored in all 3 games, and he lost. I told folks Vegas is delusional for favoring Penn State. So I gave him a pass on the Oregon game. Then he goes and loses the 2 next games. UCLA gives them their first win of the season, and then loses to Northwestern. Okay, but the problem is this. Then you go and you fire the guy because losing 3 back-to-back games is not good enough. So everybody goes out and goes, he gets fired, right? And they're talking about names to replace him at Penn State. And I said, well, I'll give you one name that's not going to take the job. It's going to be Kirk Cignetti. Everybody looks at me and joke and goes, why would you say that? I said it on my TikTok show, said it to everybody. I said, look, you don't bet. So real quick, the guys I listened to, Siski and McCready, my guy Siski was a player personnel at Bama under Coach Saban. He runs a company called QuickU. Support QuickU 100%. Indiana is a client of QuickU. My dumb self had the audacity to take Oregon over Indiana because I was believing in the Dante Moore hype. That's my fault. I went back and watched that game and told folks I take everything I said back about Indiana, and that kid, Fernando Mendoza, is a very good quarterback. And Georgia's rolling it right now, wishing they had that guy.
Well, my rankings for the Big Ten entering Week 8 are basically Indiana at number 1.
They should be at number 1. Ohio State's the better team. Okay, and I don't care that if somehow Indiana played them this year and beat them. Oh, Indiana's better. No, Ohio State has a better football team than Indiana does by default. They just do. The result, I still maintain the belief that Oregon has a better football team than Indiana. Just Indiana outplayed them. There's 2 different things, folks. Again, as much as I'm on the IU bandwagon train, whatever you want to call it, I've been a fan for 10 years. I'm not a bandwagon fan, but I believe that they're legit.
I could vouch.
The thing is that I know for a fact that Oregon's better. and Ohio State's better because their talent is way better than Indiana's. It's Indiana outplayed Oregon. I don't know if they can beat Ohio State the same way, but Indiana, as of right now, should be ranked number 1 because they have the best resume in college football. I mean, they have 5 wins over teams with winning records. They have the best win margin, basically, of any team in the country. They've beaten a ranked team on the road, blew out a top 25 team at home by 50 points. I don't think any other team's done that. Alabama's like probably the most comparable resume. And we have a loss.
Yep.
We were undefeated, we'd be way up there. But I mean, Miami. What's Miami done? I mean, Florida State. I mean, and then Ohio State, Washington, Illinois. I mean, I know Indiana beat Illinois, but Ohio State won on the road.
South Florida win.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, to me, Indiana does have the best resume in the sport, but they're not going to be ranked number 1 because Indiana. It's okay. I don't care.
Be nuts for saying this, but Miami let Florida State monkey around in that game.
Oh, yeah, they did.
They played a little bit of weak. I said this to multiple people. I thought Miami played weak defense.
That's why they're susceptible to get beat.
Yep. That's only because you let it become close at the end. And then my mom, because my brother went to Florida State, my mom goes, well, did you see that game? I said, yeah, I can tell you this right now. Miami was going to win. They were favored, but they played a little bit of that weak defense. Weak defense. You should have never let Florida State monkey around in that game. If you want to be back against better teams like an Ohio State, Indiana, Bama, you're gonna find out what defense is. Not saying they'll ever play them, but let's say they match up in the playoffs for some reason. You're going to A&M. You're going to find out what better defense is. And I think Miami's super talented. They got Ruben Bain. Beck's at a high level. He has a chance to boost his resume for the Heisman to some degree this weekend. But the problem is you are failing at defense. Not to say they're not a great team, because I think the U is okay. But you got to step it up on the defensive scheme, and nobody wants to believe that with Indiana. Everybody sits back and goes, oh, well, I've heard Luck. I've heard it's Fernando. They're investing in a program right now. They are. They used to be down there with Purdue. It used to be, to me, when I think of Indiana, was Indiana and Purdue in football were down in the barrel, and you could count those as wins. Now you can. You have to be ready to play Indiana. And Kirk Cignetti, and one of the reasons you can bring him up is he used to be at Bama as a coordinator. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to remember that. And Saban vouched every second for that guy everywhere he went. Everywhere he went. And everybody didn't know what to say about it. But
they made fun of him, Richie, because he left Alabama in 2010 as the positional coach. And he left to be a Division II head coach. Nobody does that, basically, hardly ever. It is very rare to see it, especially at his age, because he was like 50.
Where'd he go, to Elon?
He was at IUP or whatever, like Indiana University, Pennsylvania. A Division II school, and then he went to Elon, which is FCS, and then James Madison, which is FCS. Then they transferred to the FBS while he was there.
Well, gentlemen, we want to get to the $3.36 super chat from Sports Talk with Austin, and it says Indiana, Kansas, Duke are investing in football now.
But again, the reason why that is happening, appreciate the super chat, Austin. The reason why that is happening is because the path is feasible. It wasn't feasible the way it is now. It wasn't impossible before. I always maintain the belief that if Indiana, Duke, Kansas, and these other programs wanted to invest, they could. They absolutely could. They just didn't because the path was harder. Now that it's basically fair game, again, Indiana is a massive school with massive alumni and a lot of rich dudes. So Indiana's in great shape now with the rules being different. I mean, Indiana got in trouble in basketball because they made some phone calls to freaking Eric Gordon when he was committed to Illinois back in 2006. and Kelvin Sampson got fired, and that's why Indiana basketball has been crap since 2008. It wasn't Bob not getting fired. It was Kelvin Sampson getting fired. Because Kelvin Sampson's legit. He's a great coach. Cheats a little bit, but he's a great coach. Everybody cheats now. I mean, it's just the way that it is. Indiana football, you got Signetti. He said, hey, we're going to invest, or I'm going to go here if you're going to invest, and we're going to invest. We're going to win. I mean, the reason why he was a jerk that everyone says he is last year is because he wanted to get people talking, to get the dead fan base that IU supposedly had alive. And it worked. And they started winning, and now the entire nation is talking about Indiana. It's actually unreal how 2 years ago IU was nothing. Less than 2 years ago. And now they're the probably most talked about program in college football right now. More than any other team. NIL, portal, and a great coach. Again, it's feasible now. It's a lot easier to do. Like, credit to Duke, Kansas, and IU. But it's easier now than it was before. The rules are different. Anybody can play the game now.
Yeah, that super chat brings up a great point because you should be on that list, but they haven't done it as Kentucky. You know the difference between those three schools and such is all three of them are basically known for basketball, and they are now investing in football. And so here's something for you. Was it last week or the week before? I had someone goofy on TikTok hit me on my live show I do for the picks, and they said Mark Stoops needs to be canned. I said Mark Stoops should have never been even hired for the job. They quit investing in football because they know they can get away with everything in basketball. Now you've got schools like Austin put Indiana, Kansas, and Duke. Those three schools, when you think of them, are basketball schools. Last time Kansas was relevant was, I can't think. Like you said,
that
2 years
07
ago.
season with that man Joan guy or whatever his name was.
Yep. Duke, the last time they were relevant was who? Daniel Jones. And who did they have after that? Or he went to UNC. So the point being is these schools are now picking up the pace because they want to be better than just basketball. Kentucky's not doing that. And
the sad thing is, Richie's, I thought they were. Like when Stoops had, got the contract extension in the Benny Snell year and they won like 10, 11 games. I thought they were. It looked good because there was actually a fight going on. I remember verbal between Stoops and Calipari. Because Calipari's like, we're still a basketball school. And Stoops was like, yeah, I don't know about that. You haven't done anything in years. And look what we're doing now. So you had that debate going on. I don't know. Like after that, Stoops tanked. So I don't know if they deallocated funds after that. Again, I'm not in these circles. I don't know. Obviously, IU's doing something right because it's working. But Kentucky's not because after that little riff between those two, Kentucky's gone to crap in football. Like they're horrible.
What's real funny about that too is here's another one for you. So you've got the last 4 quarterbacks that Kentucky has had starting are all transfers in. Will Levis from Penn State, Brock Vandegrift from Georgia, Devin Leary from NC State, and Zach Calzada from Incarnate Ward had stints at A&M, never saw the field at Auburn. He was never going to beat out TJ Finley and got benched at Kentucky for Boyley, however you say his name. And they were looking at me going, no, he's not playing because he's hurt. I was like, look, I covered the SEC for a living. You want to be lied to or you want the truth? He got benched. The Toledo game told you all you needed to know. And I looked at it and said, Stoops, you're dumb. Why would you argue with your basketball coach that has put you guys on the map? I told folks, I said, look, start chanting the Pope is dope because you've got 3 other schools that are supposedly basketball programs to some degree, and they're in the right direction in football. Jalen Daniels, not Jaden, but Jalen Daniels looks pretty solid. Not great because there's other quarterbacks I rank over him, but he looks okay. Duke's quarterback, don't know who that be.
Darian Mensah.
Yeah, Darian Mensah looks okay right now. And then Fernando Mendoza. Absolutely. So
Mendoza, I knew he was going to be good because, again, all you had to do was look at his stats at Cal and how bad Cal was. The worst offensive line in the Power 4, Power 5, whatever. Worst by far. And he still put up good stats. And I'm just like, you're going into Indiana's system with an improved O-line, great receivers, solid running backs, Signetti and his coordinators, great offensive scheme that they've been running for a decade that works. And Curtis Rourke was 6th in the Heisman voting last year with a broken knee. So, yeah, I mean, it kind of, to me, all summed up. If people use this right here, brain, it kind of summed up that, yeah, Mendoza's probably going to be good, barring injury. And, yeah, he's been great. I was the only one probably on planet Earth that had him in my top 5 quarterbacks coming into the season. And, yeah, he's kind of lived up to that. Again, I'm not a genius. I get stuff wrong all the time. I had Lagway number 1, and that aged like crap. So, again, I can't say that I knew everything. That was terrible. Lagway, that was a bad pick. He's been awful. But I knew Mendoza was going to be good because all you had to do was just look at the stats. But no one wanted to look at the stats because, like, oh, well, you know, he was a 2-star recruit. And, you know, if Georgia really wanted him, then, you know, that would have shown he was good. You know, like, again, people just – you got to look at the stats, man. I mean, the reason I thought Lagway was going to be good was because Lagway was very impressive last year. Like, very impressive as a true freshman. And saved Napier's job. And should have beat Georgia, but got hurt. Looked great. I mean, I don't think anyone foresaw the decline. I didn't see. I mean, and even still, he sometimes shows flashes of being good this season, but a lot of times he just looks terrible. But again, we all get quarterback picks wrong, but nobody had Mendoza high on their preseason list. Nobody. I think you had him decently high, Jackson.
Yep.
But most people are like, oh, no. He's not even going to be in the top 20. And I'm just like, how? He was good last year at Cal. They suck. Like, if you're that good at that crappy of a football team, then you're good. You're really good. So, to me, it just made sense that he was going to translate over, and boy, has he. He beat out Dante Moore in the Heisman Challenge. Dante Moore was a 5-star recruit.
Well, Richie, how you feeling about the 2025 edition of the third Saturday in October, and what's your score prediction?
Absolutely. So we can get on to the next caller. So real quick, I'll start off with last week's game kind of tied into this. The couple things still bother me about this team. I think one of the biggest factors is you're burning your timeouts pretty quick. You still got clock management issues. I don't know if that's a problem with Ty in the headset or what, but you got to clean that up. And then I said it too. So we were at, don't know if you've ever been to Baumhauer's Victory Grill, but I'm sitting in Baumhauer's restaurant, and my buddy looks at me and he goes, do you think the Tides, this is the start of the second half, and he goes, do you think the Tides tiptoeing around? I said, they're gonna get against a team that plays well defense, and they're gonna have trouble because you can't start out slow in the second half at all. It's not working for you. The other thing that bothered me was I'm blanking on that guy's name, but it's the guy they subbed out for Wilkin Formby. What was that? Wilkin Formby literally was beat out on that side, and they decided, oh, we're just going to take this dude out and put him back in. That's a problem. I think Wilkin's talented. I love, the guy that's playing, but sometimes you got to do things that are going to work for you. And I guarantee against Tennessee this week, if you tiptoe in the second half, Tennessee is going to come out, and everybody's sitting there going, no, bad D-line, bad. It's like, no. They've been in every single game. It's just a matter of trying to figure it out. So some of this stuff is funky, but you got to clean it up.
Yeah, just as funky as Godfather and Caden's looks are giving each other down here in the private chat. That gotta love that.
There's a clue. I don't know what Caden could be giving Godfather a look for because we're 5-1.
Yeah, we're good, Caden. IU and Alabama. Let's go.
Look, if Alabama
sucks,
wins,
but that was expected. But you know what? Like we're doing great here.
Oh, well, boo-hoo. It's like, listen to this. We beat Tennessee at home. We suck. I mean, Ty Simpson is literally a Heisman candidate. 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, and only 1 interception on the.
And that's another thing, Richie. That's another thing.
Yes.
On my preseason quarterbacks list, I was the only one that had Ty Simpson on it.
Yeah.
Remember Jackson? Oh, Ty Simpson, he's not going to be anything. He's going to suck. I said that Ty Simpson was going to be good enough to be on a quarterbacks list. Top 10, top 15-ish. I think I had him like 11.
Oh, man.
And I undersold Ty Simpson by a lot. I didn't think he was going to be this good by no means. But the fact that nobody had him on the list, Alabama's starting quarterback doesn't even make a list, while Drew freaking Aller and some of these other people get put on top 5 lists coming into the season. For what? Oh, yeah, Drew Aller, he's got potential. Well, you know what? Ty Simpson had potential, and he finally realized it. Give the guy a chance. It's unreal to me. Like, I didn't expect him to be this good. If people had him in their top 5, I would have probably thought they were a little bit high. So, again, it's all subjective until you – or objective or whatever the word is, until you figure out how good these people actually are. I understand that, but these people that make these – at least I go back and I tell you my predictions. Lagway sucked. Sellers suck. But I was right with Simpson and Mendoza at least giving them credit.
Yeah.
But basically no one else did. I mean, go back to your preseason predictions, people, and point out your issues with your list. Because everybody sucks on their preseason list, including myself. I had a bunch of bad picks. But, man, nobody had Ty Simpson higher than 10 on any list coming into the season, but people just accepted his reality that he's good now. Kind of like Jackson said, all the people that said Ty Simpson should be benched after the Florida State game, guess what? Are now saying, oh, he could be the Heisman winner. And people change real fast. They change their opinions real fast.
You know what they do that for, too, is they do it because they want to fit the narrative that everybody else is doing. That's the problem.
That's the thing. I don't like narratives. Have your own opinion. Have your own opinion. Stand out. You don't have to just follow what everybody else. That doesn't make you unique in any way, shape, or form. If I have the same opinion as you, Richie, at least we can differentiate our opinion of the same thing with our different attitudes, personalities, and a take on that opinion. But some people are just regurgitate the exact same crap that everybody else is regurgitating. You're not getting anywhere with that. It makes no sense. I would like for one person to say, you know what? I thought Ty Simpson was going to be the biggest pile of crap in the preseason, but I was wrong. And he ended up being great. Just that little resolve there. Just that little bit of resolve there would just make wonders for your credibility. Just in my opinion.
Yeah, I bought Ty Simpson's jersey. I didn't have a white jersey, so I bought the jersey because I'm that invested in him. But here's the thing. I got clowned for saying this. I told people I needed a second game out of Ty Simpson because you're getting ready to play a gauntlet. And I got that game. Now I can straight up say, and I'm one of the ones that fell short because I had him in the top list of 20 quarterbacks, but he wasn't in top 10. But I straight up told folks, I said, he'll be as good as he is in this system. And he's proven me everything I need to see out of a starting quarterback. Look at this, and I don't mean any shots in Ohio State when I say this. I had somebody give me the analogy right now in this for Alabama right now. Would you rather have Ty Simpson or Julian Saying right now? Who would you realistically have right now? Because if you get rid of Ty Simpson, it changes the team.
I would say I'd rather have Ty Simpson because he's got the H factor. Saying's good. He's really talented, but different system, different player, different type of quarterback. If you try to just swap them out right now, things would not go smoothly probably for either team. So I definitely I'm keeping Simpson. For sure.
There you go.
But yeah, that's a great
Absolutely.
point. Interesting.
It is. It just is the delusion that people have because you sit there and you clown me because I said I need a second game from Ty Simpson. It's like, well, duh. You can't evaluate the guy because this is what I said. I said, here's what you don't want. We beat Georgia. I said we need a second game. People are like, why? He did really well on the road. I said, yeah, because we did this same junk last year. We beat Georgia and fumbled to Vanderbilt. You don't think that we need another game out of Ty Simpson to see what we get? Here's the difference. Take who your quarterback was last year. Just as the last point I have. Jalen Milroe was your quarterback last year. He's a talented athlete. Milroe and Ty Simpson are different. Milroe is an athlete. Ty Simpson is a quarterback. There is a difference. And nobody wants to believe that. They did not draft Milroe to the NFL because he's a good quarterback. They drafted him because he's a good athlete. And that's the thing nobody wants to admit. It's like Ty Simpson actually has something going for him. He's got an arm presence and a pocket presence. And he also has a run game to back him up. I understand Justice Haynes transfers to Michigan, right? It's working out for him. He looks really good. We don't know what this week will bring because of the rib trouble. But look at it like this. Now you got Jam Miller can actually establish a run game. It backs up Ty Simpson. So it's not on the shoulders of Simpson, but nobody wants to believe me. It's like they just want to see Bama lose, and they're going to laugh when it does, and they're all waiting for the chance of, oh, we do this again. Can't win, but or we fumble too. It's like, no. Every game in the SEC is not to be looked at or overlooked or joked about. Because you joked Oklahoma. I'll go back to it. You joked Oklahoma on the road, and you lost.
Yeah, I'm so glad that I picked Texas because I was going to pick Oklahoma, but I was like broken down Mateer. Broken down Mateer probably is going to have Texas just win by default. And it did. Boy, did it, because Oklahoma was dead. 3 picks for Mateer, 6 points. Texas still didn't look good, but I mean, I don't know. It's pretty wild. I mean, I got a lot of games right last week. I picked USC as well. I said Bryce Underwood was going to blow on the road, and boy, did USC. He was bad, like awfully bad. He played better against Oklahoma than he did against USC. He was terrible. And again, guy's got talent, but he's a true freshman. He's not ready. But going back to your last point you made about the QBs, man, there is a big difference between good athlete and good quarterback. And most quarterbacks in the NFL are good quarterbacks. There might be some that are good athletes too, but you still got to be a good quarterback to win and to have high success in the NFL. Like Josh Allen. If Josh Allen was still college version of Josh Allen, he'd be gone already. But a college version of Josh Allen is no more. The guy can throw the football.
Yep.
He's gotten a lot better since then. Lamar Jackson, when healthy, can throw the football.
Yep.
I mean, his run game, don't get me wrong, his run game completely complements his pass game. You take away that, I don't think he's good at all. I think he would completely crumble and fall apart. Cam Newton did. Once Cam Newton's running ability was diminished by hits and injuries and aging, yeah, he was terrible. Like, he was good when his pass game, you always had that threat that he could run. That's why he was so dangerous. There's a big difference, though, between a quarterback that's a good quarterback that can run. There's nothing wrong with being able to run. That's fine. But you've got to be better at passing the football than running the football to be a great quarterback. Yeah, sometimes I might say some of the stupidest crap, but you're here listening, Cade, and that's all. I appreciate you for being here. Be on the show.
Richie, what's your score prediction for Bama, Tennessee on Saturday?
My prediction, it's really weird. I'm going to say 31-28. I think it'll be a high-scoring game. I think Bama wins, but Tennessee covers. That's my take on it. But absolutely agree, Jeffrey, with everything. I think, there's just a lot of what-ifs and delusions out there right now. And, it's a long season. But, hey, happy for Cignetti and happy for the way things are working out for Bama. And, we'll see what happens. But, great. Hopefully it's a good game Saturday. We get the win. And, we can look on to South Carolina the following week on the road, and hopefully we get it done. So it's my final thoughts. Thank you guys for having me on as always.
Always.
Appreciate it, Rich. You have a great night as always, and roll tide roll.
Roll tide roll.
Well.
Good buddy.
Hey, Jackson, do you remember my prediction real quick before we get to our next card? Do you remember my prediction? I literally made it with Will the other night. I don't remember.
Oh, shoot.
What did I say?
Oh, man.
I know I picked Bama to win, but I don't remember the score.
Oh, Lord.
Doesn't matter. I'll try to get if I can get back with you guys on that. I will. I have no idea.
I'll make
Alabama
sure to comment when the show's over when I find it for sure.
All right.
But we've got a huge lineup tonight of callers. Like, I know you don't drink caffeine, good buddy, but it's like we gotta figure out what's getting you all that energy, man.
Yeah, I'm juiced up right now with Kurt Signetti fever and Bama not being crap like Caden said. That's enough for me. I'm good. I'm good. I'll make it. I'll make it. I mean, once it's around 11:45, if we're still alive, I'll start running out of gas. But I'm all right now. We got to get our OG member of the Alabama, the voice of college football, on. How you doing, Godfather?
Oh, you're muted, Godfather.
The story of my life. I've taken Pepto-Bismol tonight, ibuprofen, and acid. This show's gonna be the death of me. It's Caden.
We hope not. We hope not. But
where's Caden at? Is he hiding in the background somewhere?
Oh yeah, Caden is hiding now. He is. He'll be back. He'll be back.
Oh man,
he's making a lot of funny faces down there.
Yeah,
trust me, I have my eye on you the whole time, Caden. I see you.
Jeez. He trying to act like Art the Clown, or that's what he's trying to do, or
oh man, that's funny.
Art the Clown's ass, but anyway, I mean, that's just the way it goes. But,
oh man,
I had a list here, but I don't know what I've done with it. We got several players. I guess I threw it in the garbage and forgot. I didn't know what I was throwing away. We got several players that was iffy and maybe, and I think Jam Miller. Like you said, I think he's going to wind up being able to play. He was on the probable side there, I think, but we had a few players that was kind of iffy, and Tennessee had several players too.
Yeah,
they had about a bigger list as we did, probably. Like I said, I threw it away. I wrote it down anyway. It doesn't matter. You can look it up. I might have posted on my Facebook page, or I can't remember if I did or not, but. It's always Tennessee's always a very important football game. It was always a very important football game. Years and years ago, for Coach Bryant, he circled that game like he always did the Auburn game. Those two games meant a whole lot to him, and other coaches too. And it meant a lot. Like I said, it meant a lot to the players. Doug Layton and Jerry and all those guys, and make fun of poor old Smokey. And yeah, he looked like hadn't been fed in about 3 months. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe they've got a new one. Maybe they'll have him there on the side. I think one of our players or one of our sideline guys got bit one time or a couple of times. I think he did or got snapped at one. That might have been Uga that done that, the Georgia Bulldog. I don't know. I can't remember, but it happened.
Bad Uga.
Oh man, that was 1996.
Yeah.
Auburn guy was taunting the puppy dog. What do you think was gonna happen? It wasn't going to end well.
No, I think he might have snapped at one of our sideline guys at one time. I don't know, but anyway, it's
that's what the newspaper's for, man.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to the newspaper.
That's back when you had to go out and go down to the local store there and get you a newspaper and read what happened on Sunday morning. Because didn't have any social media. You had Coach Bryant's show came on at 1:00 every day on Sunday afternoon. But if you want to know anything else, you had to go down and get you a USA Today paper, or thank goodness for the USA Today. Back then. And
I think Caden's brain's overloading from our discussion of newspapers.
Well, he can't read. He can't read. That's why his mind's going out
of man. Well, we'll get to Caden after we.
We'll get to Caden and his bird action.
You can have it, Caden. I was going to say one more thing. We want to also say rest in peace to Ace Frehley. We lost a great.
Yeah, rest in peace, man. That sucks. Kiss.
Yeah.
I saw that on X today. I was like, oh man, that sucks.
Got to post something on that. I haven't had any time, man. I hate that.
I saw him a bunch of times. I saw the original band. They not like the wannabes. The original band was the original band. They could really, back when they were young, they could make your britches legs vibrate. I'll guarantee you that. They were good at it, but they were like Alabama. They were the best of the best. But I don't know a score prediction. Like I said, I've never been too good at score predictions.
That's all right.
Alabama. If Alabama will play 3 quarters, they'll beat Tennessee. I mean, everybody says Tennessee's strength may be their defensive line. I don't know what y'all think. I haven't watched them a whole lot this year. As a matter of fact, I haven't watched any Tennessee games. But what do y'all think Tennessee's strengths are? Is it the D line? Is that one of
Well,
the
I
strengths?
can tell you their weaknesses, time of possession, especially how they handle clock management. We saw that against Georgia. We
That
saw
Georgia game, dude.
Mississippi State and Arkansas. Like,
They give
jeez.
up a lot of
Ugh.
points.
Ugh.
They give up a
Like
lot of
that,
points. I mean, they let Arkansas score 31.
they got
Georgia scored
like
44. So I mean, I
that
think we'll be
is
able to
a
put up points on
team.
them.
That is a team that's gonna have their losing streak in Tuscaloosa continue, and you know what? That makes me pretty happy because I get to mess with one of these.
Oh, I got off a cigar. I didn't know you never smoked a cigar. Don't get sick.
Well, it's actually my first one, so
Yeah,
it's
I'm a
not
little worried about Jackson. He's gonna be a chain smoker now. It's like what?
If you
no,
start doing this,
no worries.
you might ought to go get him, Jeffrey's going down if he goes doing
No, I only mess with this stuff when it's Alabama,
And you'll see
Tennessee.
Jackson next show and be like,
Nah,
He'll
no
go,
worries.
he'll go from a yellowish to a pale white real quick. We'll know to cut
Everybody keeps
quick.
saying.
Cut it. He'll look like my beard. He'll be real white. We know he's in trouble then. But anyway, that's what some of them said was one of their strengths is their D line. But and like you said, the clock management stuff. You can go back a couple of years since. So I guess Bobby Hill's been there. He's kind of been iffy on clock management in a few games that I have watched, and I watched a little bit of that Arkansas game. Arkansas, I think they should have beat them.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
they should have beat Memphis.
and
uh,
Ole Miss.
Like they're actually not a terrible team. They just don't know how to win.
I don't know. I mean, they looked a little better when Petrino got a hold of them last week. They scored a few more points. He may bring that team. He may know how to bring that team out of the out of the kinks. I don't know, but
Jaden's about to self-destruct. Oh my god.
he is. I better get off here. He'll pull a Art the Clown. There'll be guts and blood all over the damn phone and everywhere else. We don't get out of here. But anyway,
Man.
y'all do a good job on Thursday night there. I always enjoy getting ready to listen to the show on Thursday night, and we'll see what happens about. I'd say about close to 9 o'clock. We should know who the winner is there Saturday night. So
Well, and we want to make sure that tell your friends, family, and the cashiers at Post about the magic that Godfather the SEC has all right here on Facebook. And if there's any other links that we need to promote, we will make sure to promote one of our
yeah.
OG YouTube members.
All right, y'all can catch me at Walmart and Dollar General. I'm gonna get out of here. Y'all be good. Be safe. Be safe.
Always.
Caden,
Appreciate
be
it,
careful now.
Godfather.
Don't open your mouth and stick your foot in it. I can come back on the show. All right, I'll see y'all later. Be good.
See you later, y'all.
You have a great night, Godfather. Appreciate it.
And we're going to get to Hunter as our next caller, and then we will get to Caden afterwards. How you doing tonight, good buddy?
Good. How are y'all?
Doing all right. Sorry for the long wait, man.
No problem. No problem at all. Always good to listen to other callers as well. Um, so just a couple observations from last week game. Um, this is one thing that concerns me about Ty Simpson, and if you look at it in a isolated incident, it doesn't look like that big of a problem. But where it could become a problem is against the wrong team. And so I don't know if y'all noticed, we had two different drives where um, instead of taking off with the ball, he looks downfield, and then we end up getting sacked. And that happened twice in this game. Now, it wasn't catastrophic because he made a first down on fourth down. But, if we're playing a team like a Tennessee or, or a South Carolina at home, at South Carolina. If that happens at the wrong time, we that could be a problem. And so I would like to see him not trying to make the big play every play and just take what the defense gives him and just take off when it needs to take off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he had a couple plays even against Florida State, in the first game where he could have ran and he, threw the ball. A lot of people have pointed that out. I mean, it's such a tough mindset because we live in a world of college football now where running the ball as a quarterback is expected. Even if you're not a runner, if you're somehow able to run, even if you're slow and there's an opening, like you need to take off and pick up yards. And that is the expectation. And I agree that if the opportunity is there, you should do that and run out of bounds, pick up a few yards instead of throwing it in traffic. I absolutely agree with that. But not that long ago, 10, 15 years ago, that was never an issue. If a guy just didn't run, he just didn't run. Even if he could run, if he just threw the ball downfield, threw an interception, no one ever blinked an eye. But now that we, are so accustomed to the option of running, then that's why that is brought up. So, I agree with you there, that it's something that he could do better, but it's not a traditional old school way of how a quarterback, solves an issue like that. Either you just throw it away or, you try to throw it to somebody. Now we have that option. So, again, he's got to do that. But it is interesting how that's changed as a quarterback, position, like, again, expectations of what players should do in certain situations. And again, Todd Simpson's a good runner. So, therefore he absolutely should, run. But it's interesting. Because like I said, that's something that I feel like if we were talking about this 15, 20 years ago, definitely we would not be saying that. But you're absolutely right for sure.
Well, even if it would have been like Jake Coker as our quarterback, that would be a situation where you want him just to throw the ball away. But it seems like sometimes, and Jalen did this a lot last year, of trying to always go for the big down the field play when you don't necessarily need that. I remember distinctly a play last year with Jalen where he was trying to throw the ball downfield, make a big play, make a big down the field play, and then had a guy wide open in the middle of the field. And if you just would have passed it to him, we would have got a first down. But instead, they were just looking for the big play. And it's hard. I mean, I'm not criticizing Ty here because he's done a great job. But that is the thing that I hope that the coaching staff is looking at and going, hey, let's not always go for the big play. Do your thing, and if you got to throw it to the check down of the wide receiver or the guy in the middle of the field, just throw it there. We ain't always got to go for the big play, but I just feel like in the situations that has happened this year, we've not had to pay a penalty for it, but in a certain situation that could be an issue. So, but other than that, I mean, give I give Missouri a lot of credit. You know what? I think a lot. I think Drinkwitz is probably one of in my opinion, he's a top 10 coach. I mean, he took a Missouri team that they weren't quite Vanderbilt or Kentucky level, but they were pretty bad. And he's got them up to where they're competing with Alabama. I mean, that wasn't a thing. I mean, the last time that they were even this good was back about 10 or 12 years ago when they had a different coach and they made it to two SEC championships in a row. And Alabama just mopped the floor with them once they got, there. But um still, um let me ask you a question. Do you think it's time that we just go full time to John Lee and just completely do away with Damani Jackson?
Let's not do away with Damani Jackson just yet, but I do love seeing Dijon Lee. at the same time.
I would agree with that take mostly. I mean, you got to rotate guys. Like I know that some teams like just play the starter. That some position groups just the whole game. It's the same guy, and you don't rotate, especially depending on how many snaps you are out there. You know, if there's no fatigue, just keep playing. I would rotate. I would play them both. You know, if Dijon Lee's playing better, then play him more. You know, play him more snaps than Damani Jackson. But, you know, yeah, Dijon Lee's looked better. I mean, the game's still in pick. He's been solid in covers. Damani Jackson's not been as good. It kind of reminds me of that guy Ohio State had. Well, I don't remember his name. You remember that corner Ohio State had a couple of years ago about wasn't it like Denzel Burke or something that people were just like expecting to be like this guy, this elite guy. And I know Kane's probably losing it down there because I mentioned his beloved team, and how dare I say anything negative about a player that actually most Ohio State fans talk negative about. So I think it's fair game. But Denzel Burke, you know, he was a guy that was very hyped and highly rated, like all their players are, and he kind of wasn't. He kind of just wasn't that good, but they had to play him because by default he was like their only guy with experience there, and he kind of developed, but he wasn't really that great. Well, sometimes that happens. Not every guy pans. It just doesn't work. You know, it's not every guy pans out. I mean, I'm not, you know, like Jackson. I'm not saying to completely Denzel Ward. It doesn't matter. You get the point, man. You know, I don't follow your team like you do. But, you know, it's just, I swear it was Burke, but whatever. Again, you know, some guys don't pan out. If Damani Jackson's not playing as well, just don't play him as much. I would agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm about to say, you know, he's just made some critical mistakes. And, you know, I think sometimes we're overcritical of these players. I mean, but, you know, sometimes, you know, it's just frustrating that he's not making the plays in critical moments. And yeah, to what you're saying, Alabama had a guy a few years ago under Saban. He was a 5-star recruit out of high school. You know, everybody thought he was going to be the best. You know, really really good, and he was a good player, but he kept on having behavioral issues, and that was Tony Brown. I don't know if y'all remember him. It was a good player, but just kept on having off the field issues. You know, and Saban, you know, doing what Saban did, he kind of had like a Hill Billingsley moment with him. I think he made a boneheaded mistake in the Michigan State game when we played them in the playoffs that year, and Saban kind of go over there and talk to him, and oh yeah, he had a that's right, he had a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty and um a personal foul on that play. And you know, Saban kind of went over there and kind of talked to him, you know, the way he did Hill Billingsley that time. So yeah, sometimes guys are just, you know, just not as good as is they're hyped up to be. But I just think sometimes I think, you know, he's just made some critical mistakes in critical situation, you know, in times where he shouldn't. Now, the one time he did make a mistake, that Kane Womack did take responsibility for that because I guess he didn't call the right play in the Georgia game. But um, anyway, so that's about all I have for the. You know, just hats off to
What's your
Missouri.
score prediction for Alabama, Tennessee this Saturday?
So now that y'all, I usually don't do a whole lot of that, but since y'all posed the question to everybody else, I was thinking about it, and I'm gonna say 35-24 Bama.
Okay.
Sounds about where I had it. I don't remember what I said, but somewhere in that range.
I you know, I hope we go out there and we. Here's the situation where I can see where Alabama, you know, has played better at home on defense this year, and you know, and we played really good, you know, on offense too. You know, we just play better at home. I could see a situation where we just dominate them. I mean, I can see a situation where we just, you know, we just dominate them. But it is Tennessee. It is a rivalry game, so you have to factor that in. You know, now I tell you, the one game that y'all will not hear me give a prediction for this year, is the Auburn game because the Iron Bowl is just the Iron Bowl. Crazy things happen.
Jordan Hare, because the last two times we should have lost in Jordan Hare and we somehow survived. I mean, somehow survived. The 4th and 31 to Bond and the Ja'Cory Brooks in the right corner in 21. Last 2 times we've been in Jordan Hare, we should not have won. So, I mean, literally the 2021 one, it still sticks out to me 4 years later how Auburn literally was a half inch away from getting a first down and would have won the game there. But instead of going for it on 4th down, they punt and we get the ball at the 1. And then somehow freaking Bryce Young, as amazing as he was, went all the way down the field. So, yeah, I mean, like in a minute, they went 99 yards. So that and the Brooks catch was crazy. He transferred away, and then Bond was great in 23, and he transferred away from us. So it's just crazy. It's ironic, if somehow we have another game-winning touchdown pass to a receiver in the waning seconds of the Auburn game in Jordan Hare to a wide receiver that ends up transferring again. That would be insane if that happens a 3rd time in a row. But I'll take a win any way that we can get it in Jordan Hare.
All right, well, I got one more question for y'all.
right.
And I want y'all to take this into the totality of the work that Kalen DeBoer has done since he got there. What letter grade would y'all give him up to this point in totality, from the time he landed in Tuscaloosa to now?
I would give Kalen A- right now.
That's what exactly what I was going to say, Jackson. And I'll tell you why. I think the things that of course, we had the disappointing season last year. We all felt that we left money on the table last year. But last year was his first year, so you got to give him credit for that. You got to give him a break for that. This year, the Florida State game, but we've overcome. We look like a completely different team. We don't even. If you was to tell me today, that I had no idea about the Florida State game, and you told me that Florida State team beat this Alabama team, I wouldn't believe you. I thought you were on crack. So
Sorry, I'm just laughing at our Nats caller, man. I'm so sorry.
Caden's been losing his crap for a half hour. It's okay.
I'm about a few minutes away from just losing it, like just laughing my butt
The
off.
reason why I gave a B though is because again, the whole context of all the bad losses. I know it's early, in his tenure. I've supported the guy. I'm massively been behind him, even when others have not been so far. And after the Florida State game, I'm like, give him time. It's fine. It's not the end of the world. We don't need to fire him or anything like that. But I give a B because if we lose to Missouri, which we dominated enough, but it still was close, or we lose to Georgia, which that game was close, then B is where everybody's at right now. Like we're this close to that. If we lose this week, he's not an A-. We're saying an A- right now. Most people,
but I'm talking about
because of the response from the Florida State game, the 5-win or the 4. We're 5-1, right? 5-1. The 5-win, 4-1 or 5-1.
Alabama is 5-1.
5-1. Okay, so 5-1. Since we've won our 5 games since then, that's why it's up to A- territory. But in totality, from the start to now, I think it's a B because we're still teetering on. If we finish the season 11-1 and we make the playoffs, then he's absolutely A. But if we lose 2 games the rest of the season and go 9-3, then it's B territory to maybe close to C. So we're in middle ground. I need to see more results based off what happens this year to make a definitive answer because we're in limbo between whether he's safe and doing great and looks like he's going to be our coach for years to come to still things could taper or fall off. Still.
Another component that I'm factoring into this, you might not be off the top of your head, is I'm factoring in recruiting too. Because I thought, honestly, when he got here, I was concerned if he was going to be able to recruit the South and how he was going to be able to recruit out of Alabama in general. But he has surprised me so much with how good of a recruiter he's been. Now, we still have Nick Saban on the sideline, still doing some recruiting for him, which I love. By the way, I think that's great that Nick Saban still wants to be somewhat involved from a distance and wants to, help Kalen, recruit kids, because that's what made Saban great. It wasn't that he was the best X's and O's guy. It was he was just going to out recruit you, and that's just how he built teams. But one more thing, and I will say this too about I want to make a short comment about the Penn State firing of
Cool.
James Franklin. I thought it was atrocious too, and let me tell you why. Even though he couldn't win the big games, and that has to be frustrating for a fan base, that you get so close and you just can't win those big games. But it's really hard for me to defend firing a guy who consistently wins. And yeah, it's frustrating, but um. I think they're going to go backwards rather than the forwards. Now, I will say a guy that I would hire, and I agree with Josh Pate on this, and Josh Pate said this on his show, and I said this before I even heard Josh say this. I think they should go out and hire Matt Campbell. I
Yeah.
think if I'm the AD, I'm throwing as much money as I can at Matt Campbell. I think he is. Look at what he's done. I mean, think of it's Iowa State of all places. And look how good he's done it there.
Right.
And I think with the money and the resources at Penn State, I think he can keep them at the level, and maybe even win the big games there. So, I don't think Matt Rule's going to go. I know people have been talking about Matt Rule. I think Matt Rule's happy where he's at. I don't see Matt Rule going to Penn State, even though he played there and graduated from there. I just don't see that right now. Maybe something changes with that, but from everything I'm seeing, I just don't think that's the case. But if I had to hire a coach and you said, Hunter, you hire the next Penn State coach, I'm going after Matt Campbell. That's just the guy that I think's probably the best candidate at the moment.
I mean,
Well,
I don't disagree with that. Before we get to Caden to respond to that, I don't necessarily disagree with that. Pick. I mean, Matt Campbell's done an amazing job at a bad program like Signetti's done at IU, and James Franklin did good at Vanderbilt. That was why he got hired. I mean, I think the problem is that again, when you're firing a guy that is the fourth winningest coach in college football in the last 5 seasons, there's practically nobody that you're gonna get that is better than that currently. Now, that doesn't mean that they can't be better eventually, but there's nobody. Signetti was the only guy that they could get that would have for sure been a better coach than James Franklin. And they didn't get him. I mean, they literally fired James Franklin to get Curt Signetti. I mean, people that Penn State fans, rather, that say that, well, we didn't want Signetti, they're grifting right now. That's what people do. It's kind of like Indiana. I remember when Indiana basketball, for the last 3 times they've been trying to hire a coach after they fired Crean, Miller, and Woodson. Grifting. Oh, well, we're going to get this. Oh, we didn't want him. Every fan base does that crap. Penn State, they wanted Signetti. They didn't get him. So now they got plan B, C, D, F, whatever. Campbell, like that's like James Franklin 2.0, probably. I mean, he could be slightly better. I don't think Matt Campbell necessarily at Penn State would necessarily like national championship. I'm not saying he couldn't do that, but I'm not saying he is either. I think that's like fairly comparable between when Franklin was hired to what he'd done before and Campbell. Because Campbell's all over the place at Iowa State. I know it's hard to win there, but he's not consistently good there. Like, his seasons are all... A couple of years ago, he was on the hot seat. So, he goes up and down at Iowa State. He's good. I'm not saying but he's been there a long time, and he hasn't taken a job. I don't know. Rule is not going to do what Penn State fans want, probably. In the wild cards, again, they kind of just put themselves in a bad situation. Go ahead, Jackson.
There's one guy you could get and make him say no. Brent Key at Georgia Tech.
No, I don't see that. No.
I don't know.
No,
I think.
Okay, I'm not going to say that's impossible because at this point nothing's impossible probably in college football. We've seen but it's very, 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 very unlikely.
I agree with Jeff. I mean, it's not impossible, but I just don't see it. But I got a fun hypothetical
I mean,
question
if
for y'all,
I'm an
guys.
AD, that I would consider it. Now, Alex Golish, I'm kind of flip flopping on Golish.
These names just don't sound like Penn State is in a good space right now, though, man. And I'm just laughing. Shouldn't have fired Franklin. Bad timing. Bad
I
timing.
know, but it's
Bad
like
time. The timing is so bad they don't understand it.
the razor
They're in a
wire.
stupor right now. The weird stuff that Caden is
Oh yeah,
accusing me of drinking right now is what they're drinking, because right now they think that what they did is good. What they think they did is going to help them. And again, there is a chance that it does help them if their next coach is a slam
That's
dunk
why.
and win them their national titles they want. But it's very unlikely that's going to occur.
True.
And there's
But
a very highly probable chance that they're going to get someone that's worse. And then they're going to go the way of Nebraska. And then we're going to have to hear Penn State fans whine and complain and moan about how, oh, we used to have it better. Well, you did it to yourself.
But if
that
you,
happens.
But I think, but like the razor wire, which I mean, it's like I think it's agreed. It's completely dumb, but it's just the reason why they were doing it. It's they're living in. They're not thinking about what you did for us in 2016 or what you did for us 2021. We're in the era of what have you done for me lately?
Yeah, that's the way it is. I mean, that's why I've seen people say, well, Signetti, if he has a bad year at IU, he's going to get fired. It's
no.
Dude.
It's like,
are we doing that right now? I mean, for
Yeah.
one, Signetti hasn't had a bad year, so we can't even use that as an example. And number two, it's still Indiana. I don't think Indiana's going to fire Signetti if they go 6-6 next year. I don't think that's going to happen. But again, you know, you're able to believe what you want to believe. You know, that's what Tom Petty said in one of his classic songs. You can believe what you want to believe, but it doesn't make it right. You know, it's just the way that it is. You know, I mean, it's everybody has an opinion. You know, my opinion, half the stuff I say on here is probably 100% wrong too. You could find a way to see that it's wrong, but you know, I try to at least not be completely moronic when I say stuff. I mean, again, I say moronic stuff. I try not to though. I literally, to the bottom of my heart, believe that Penn State screwed themselves. That is exactly the way I feel, and I've stood by that since the very second that they fired him. And I'm not changing my opinion until I've got proof that their next coach is better than James Franklin and that they're content and happy up there in Beaverland. But again, I'm not confident for them. I'm not, because I think they messed up. I really do.
Well,
we'll definitely see whether they
What are you asking, Hunter?
I 100% agree with what you just said, and I think that I'm going to make it. I'm going to say it here on this show. I agree 100% with you. I think it was a bad decision. I think it's bad on twofold. I think it's bad from a wins perspective, and I think it's bad from a contract buyout perspective, from a money perspective and a coaching perspective. I think it's probably the dumbest, you know, um, coaching fire, and I think I've seen it in a long time. I tell you another coaching fire that I thought was really dumb. I thought the Auburn made a mistake when they fired Gene Chizik, and a lot of people would disagree with me with that. But I think if you would have gave Gene Chizik another year, because he lost a lot of seniors that set up for a bad year the next year, and I think the expectations were going to be that he was going to have a bad year that come next year, and so. Auburn has this problem of firing coaches too quickly, and just making straight up dumb hires. I mean, I thought that if James Franklin's firing is the worst firing I've ever seen, I think two hires, the worst hires I've seen in college football in the past 10 years, has been the hiring of Willie Taggart and the hiring of Brian Harsin. So, but yeah, I agree exactly what you're saying, Jeffrey, and but I just got one last question. I'm gonna get off here. Because since we're talking about coaches, do y'all think that if Kirby had not played at Georgia and Nick Saban had retired, do you think that he would have left Georgia for Alabama? If he had not been played there and had the connections that he'd had, and he was just a coach there because he just got hired there, do you think he would have made the jump to Alabama?
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, what do you think, Jeffrey?
It's possible, but I'm glad that it's not possible because Kirby lied on national TV.
There you go, man.
I'm just glad that did not happen.
And
Oh yeah,
we don't
that was
have to
that.
have-
Kirby Smart's gonna have to do a lot to make me not frustrated with him.
That
'Cause
that was
that was just
horrible.
straight up crap what he did.
That was horrible. That's not a good. That's
they
not good
needed the
PR for
refs
him.
to
I mean,
bail
I
them out.
actually can't believe he did it, Hunter. Like literally. What? I mean, we got cameras, dude.
This
It's
is clapping.
2025.
This
That was
is
kind that was
clapping.
kind of an error, dude. I mean, you lied. You flat out lied, and then he doubles down on that lie. You know, and he's already having issues with his team anyway the last few years with the DUIs and all that type of stuff. You think you kind of want to be a good honest leader going on there. I mean, I just
That is the college football equivalent of the 30,000 emails.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'd love to have Kirby on this show, my channel, and ask him. You know, I'm like,
Hey, well,
Kirby, I respect you as a coach. You've done a lot of good in your career. Why did you lie? Why did you do that?
I think eventually he'll want that
Everybody's
back.
lied before, I'm sure. Okay, I'm sure everybody. We've all, as kids or adults, we made mistakes. But dude, he knew what he did. He didn't care.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't freaking care that he got away. He didn't care that he got away with all the other stuff in that game. Didn't care. It's just like, well, I didn't call timeout.
Yeah.
I was clapping. Like, dude. I mean, literally, I asked on Twitter, does anybody that's a non-Georgia fan like Kirby Smart right now? And literally, like 90% of them said no.
Does.
So, like, the guy literally has dropped favorable points overnight.
Mhm.
Like, the dude is not likable, man, right now. Like, nobody likes the guy. I think that not caring what other people think about you is good to an extent. When everybody don't like you, you're doing something wrong. You know what I'm saying? That's a problem. Georgia fans love the guy, but until he loses, which is why I want them to lose. And they keep getting away with wins. If they lose a couple games, Kirby's got to go. And then you'll see Kirby buckle up real quick and try to batten down the hatches. Because right now, that program's loose as a goose. That's loose as all heck. But they're getting away with it. They keep winning games they shouldn't win. Tennessee, they should have lost. Auburn, they should have lost. Kentucky, they should have lost last year. Freaking Mississippi State, they played like crap. Florida, they played like crap. Georgia Tech, they should have lost last year. They're not very good, but they keep winning. So Kirby's fine, despite lying and the team having tons of issues and getting rid of Carson Beck and freaking not getting Mendoza. There's a lot of problems going on in Georgia land right now, but that's getting skirted by because he's winning. And for some reason, Georgia fans aren't like Ohio State fans, where when Ohio State can't beat Michigan, they want their coach fired. Georgia can't beat Bama, and they're not mad at Kirby. So
Hey, well,
they keep
another
winning,
thing.
they're fine.
Well, I was going to say, Godfather, the AC brings up some interesting stats about the last time Tennessee beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa, and that was on October 25th of 2003 with a final score of 51-43. This game is remembered as the third Saturday in October that year. Yeah, the thing I've never understood was in years past, they were always putting third Saturday in October games on the fourth Saturday in October and calling it the third Saturday. Like, good grief. But they're not doing that anymore. Thank goodness for that. Just don't be doing that next year. Just like keep it at the third Saturday of October as you have.
Yeah, we've already lost the fact that the ACC has Pacific Coast teams.
Well,
and the the Big Ten's got Pacific Coast. Football don't even make any sense anymore, right? So it's like the naming is broken. The Big Ten's got 18 teams in it. You know, you go on and on, right? Like, at least have the third Saturday in October actually be on the third Saturday in October. Let's do that. That would be much appreciated.
Well, Hunter, we're gonna get to our next call, and we will definitely be seeing you next Thursday. Good buddy.
Yeah. Well, real quick, I will say now that I've thought about it a little bit, Jackson, if Alex Golish had came up to like a bigger team and like let's say he took like the Arkansas job and won a couple games, had a couple of successful seasons, then if Then they had fired James Franklin at Penn State. Looks like he had a bad couple of years, and he was up for the job. I can see him, but I just don't see Alex Golish or, them or Georgia Tech head coach, being the guys right now. But I like Golish. I think he's going to get a bigger job, for him. But we'll see. Yeah. But anyway, guys, appreciate y'all, and we'll see y'all next Thursday.
See you
Absolutely,
soon,
Hunter.
buddy.
Appreciate it. And roll tide, roll.
Roll Tide,
Bye,
roll.
man.
And
All
we
right,
got
Caden, we've
Caden
waited
again.
patiently. There he is.
There he is. There you go.
Oh my God. What the hell was all that crap?
That was an hour and 20 minutes of our show.
No, it was an hour and 20 of a bunch of just Bama boys bickering.
We were having a great time.
And Jeffrey, first of all, I don't know if you've been drinking, but I pretty much know what the hell you've been drinking, and I know that crap ain't good.
It's good enough for Godfather to give us a $10 super sticker, so appreciate that, Godfather.
We appreciate the $9.99.
Appreciate it a lot.
You're good, buddy.
I don't know if you have a girlfriend or not, Jeffrey, but apparently she's been giving you the shit that I told people. I swear to God, I said, if Jeffrey has a girlfriend, I'm betting that girlfriend of his would probably let him drink that crap. And I said, don't ever do that crap. Swear to
It literally
looks like
you're reflecting on yourself right now, Caden. It sounds like you know from experience.
Oh God.
So
no, it's not my experience. It's somebody else's experience. Another buddy of mine's experience, for one. Two, not my experience.
You have a buddy that's experienced it. Wow, that's pretty close to home. That's
Jeffrey, for the love of God, I've got buddies that watch this channel because I'm the only Buckeye. I'm probably the only Buckeye that comes on here and spits the facts.
No,
okay?
We have other Buckeye fans that definitely spit facts. Yeah. I sometimes I don't know what you're spitting. I smell the diesel all the way from Ohio, but again,
because
you're not the
all the way down there in Logan, Alabama.
Trust me, you're not the only Buckeye on the planet. Like, let's just.
I know I'm not the only Buckeye on the planet, Jeffrey. For the love of God, I'm just saying. I know you're down there somewhere in Alabama, like Jackson, with the bunch of guys around there drinking damn whiskey and cigars, and I don't even know why the hell
Jackson's about to smoke a cigar for the first time because we will beat Tennessee. But I mean, again, I'll be praying for him on Saturday that he doesn't suffer an adverse reaction to that cigar. Hopefully, it's just all fun and games for Jackson. I will be praying for him on Saturday after we win against Tennessee. I'm fine. All I've had for the last hour, I've had a little bit of sweet tea for dinner, and the rest of that time it's been straight water. I probably drank about 5 gallons of water in the last couple days.
The 25
so I'm
hour.
okay. I got plenty of hydration, but it ain't the kind of drink you're talking about.
Oh man, the sweet tea that'll give you 25 hours.
Just a little bit. I can't drink a lot, or otherwise it probably wouldn't be good. So again, you got it's called moderation.
Yeah.
It's called moderation, Caden. You got to have moderation.
Moderation, really. Because Jeffrey, I'm gonna ask you this question again. Do you have a girlfriend or not?
That's not to be publicly discussed on Alabama at the Voice of College Football, because I'm not you where I talk about that type stuff on Alabama at the Voice of College Football.
Well, I guarantee you probably do, and she probably would drop you.
Saturday night, the Sunday with your lady, Caden. Like you said, you were talking about that on you were going to be, you're on a date on Sunday.
All I know about Caden is he was down in Panama and they couldn't handle him. That's all I know about Caden. It's love life or something. It's not love, but it's something.
Nope, just a whole lot of. I don't know how they come finding me or they come around me. I don't know how.
I don't know either, because, I mean, if anybody gets within 10 feet of your truck, they're dead. So, I mean, that diesel just absolutely suffocate them. I mean, I don't know how they can, man.
Jeffrey, but It sounds like you're so full of crap. I don't know what your eyes are starting to turn brown or what. I don't even know.
Dude, my eyes are watering me. I've been up since 6 a.m. I'm a little bit tired, but I still got more energy than you do in your brightly lit orange room that everybody's talking about. So,
Orange, orange.
Literally, I'm fine. I am fine. You is what I'm concerned about.
This is not orange, Jeffrey. It's red. It's the day.
How do you feel about this, Cade? Answer this right here. Answer that. What does that mean to you?
Them Buckeyes like them big girls. Yeah, some of us, but some of us just don't got time because we're either working 14 hours a freaking day, or some of us don't got straight up.
How do you work 14 hours a freaking day but are on here?
I drink two Mountain Dew Kickstarts in the morning.
Yeah, so that's why you're wired and looking kind of crazy right now. That little Mountain Dew. I don't drink Mountain Dew. I don't want my teeth to fall out, man. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and then you're over here with Jackson, Godfather, Zachary, and all them dumbasses.
Our great callers. We appreciate them.
We always appreciate
them, man. You'd appreciate it too if you had callers on your show.
Not to forget.
I mean, trust me, you would. I mean, callers, you need callers on a call-in show. And I appreciate all of our callers. We respect our callers around here.
Oh my God! So
even you.
Oh man, ladies and gentlemen, we've gone from discussion of Kirsten Nay, James Franklin, a little bit of the third Saturday in October here and there, and a little bit about Caden's love life on the 54th edition.
I want another response from Caden for this comment right here.
I got no comment to him. I got none. But
the show is gone, so that's why there's no comment from Caden. The show is over. I just end the stream right now.
Or I just got no answer. And here's the other thing, Jeffrey. I know your buddy Coach Snook is watching the show. Coach Snook, I know you are. And I told him I wouldn't give you any help tonight, but you know what? Screw that. But you know what? I will be completely fair. Tennessee, Alabama, it wouldn't surprise me if Tennessee beats y'all.
They haven't done it in Tuscaloosa since 2003. The dark.
Yeah. Well, remember, you're the same guy that said that we were gonna get boat raced by Georgia, and they were gonna have all that Bama meat or whatever. That really aged well. That really aged well. That's what all the young kids are saying these days is aged well. Every single time I get a prediction wrong, it aged so freaking well. Yeah, it aged so daggone well that you say the comment for the 80th billionth time. So yeah, you know what, Caden, your remark about us getting destroyed by Georgia aged well, really well, so well in fact that this prediction is going to age even worse. So again, where do you come up with these predictions? Nostradamus or something? Where are we getting these predictions at?
Or maybe that's just my 2 cents and my opinions, and maybe I discuss these things with my buddy.
Wrong. That's the problem. Just like mine was on Lagway being the #1 quarterback. I was wrong. I was flat out wrong, man. You were wrong on us losing to Georgia.
Shut up for 1 minute and let me damn answer. For the love of God, let me damn answer. Jesus Christ. Or maybe we just hate Alabama because we can't stand Alabama and we don't give a daggone crap about Alabama.
There we go. See, I'm not an Ohio State fan, but I still pick you guys.
I don't give a about Alabama. The only thing I give about is Ohio State.
Then why are you here?
Because Alabama's the one who I have to say, I don't give a crap about nothing but the Buckeyes. And that's all it is to it. Now, I will say this. 2027, it's coming for y'all. That receipt is coming for y'all. And especially 2028, when we come to Tuscaloosa, it's going to be really bad for you fellas. Yeah, I know on social media you're going to be whining, complaining, crying that y'all should have never lost to the team in the Big Ten that y'all beat in 2021.
That's what Ohio State fans said the last 3 years they lost to Michigan. They shouldn't have lost. That's kind of what all fans do.
Yeah.
You know? Kind of do that. Or we shouldn't have lost. Shouldn't have lost Indiana.
On 2025 first, then worry about 2026.
I agree. We got a lot of football left between us, Caden, and every Alabama fan out there. We got a lot of football.
y'all's schedule is basically crap. I mean, for the
And
love
yours
of God.
isn't?
It is. The SEC is a weak conference. The Big Ten, especially,
Oh,
the
What question before we get to our next caller? What's your prediction for Alabama, Tennessee on
Dude, he's
Saturday?
not going to make a prediction other than Tennessee's going to kick our what. So there you go. I mean, it's
Well,
not.
what's
He's
your-
not
Yeah,
going
y'all
to
think
pick a win,
Tennessee.
dude.
I'll say this: I have it at a 50-50 ratio for you guys, just for the love of God.
Hmm.
Since you want
That
an
means we're
unbiased
guaranteed
answer,
to win, guys.
since y'all want an unbiased answer, I'll give you an unbiased answer. Either Tennessee beats them 30-27, or Tennessee wins 27-24. Is that simple enough for you guys? Because I clearly just said it.
Wait.
Yeah.
Did he say one of those scenarios was us winning, right?
Yes.
I did, Jeffrey. Did you hear me, or are your ear plugged?
I'm just making sure because it sounded like you kind of glossed over that fact. I just wanted to hear it again.
Lost. Jeffrey, I said y'all win 30-27, or they beat you 27-24.
How come they can't win 30-27?
I'm saying y'all beat them 30-27, and then Tennessee wins 27-24. Did you not hear me crystal clear, or your
So
ears
basically, no matter what happens in the game, Tennessee is going to score
Okay.
27. So we can.
I'm not saying that,
right?
Jeffrey. I'm saying it's going to be a 50-50 game. 50-50. Do you not hear me saying 50-50?
I mean, it's at least 51-49 Alabama.
Well,
but again,
Caden, we're going.
it's just my opinion too, Caden.
Oh,
You know,
Jeffrey, please excuse
Caden,
me.
we're gonna let you off, but then we're gonna get to our.
I want
last
to know before we get Caden a break from whatever's going on right now. You can take some breathing exercises and all that.
Breathing exercises.
I want to ask what's on your shirt? Is that a football team other than Ohio State? I see.
It's an honorary. It's a custom made alma mater sweatshirt made for me.
I thought you were only an Ohio State fan.
It's a high school alma mater, Jeffrey. If you have a problem with that,
No, I don't have a problem with it. I just thought it'd be blasphemous not to have a Ohio State shirt on since you only care about the Buckeyes. You clearly care about a second football team.
Oh my God, Jeffrey, you're annoying me more. Oh my God.
Well, all right, Kay. We'll be.
Hey,
seeing you next
I got
week.
Caden off the show before you did.
Yep. Yes, you did. And we're gonna have our last card of the night. Sports Talk with Austin. How you doing tonight, good buddy?
How you guys doing, fellas?
Doing
Well,
great,
Jeffrey,
Austin. How you doing?
Jeffrey, I think we can officially say it. You're the Caden getter, where you're like the bug spray for Caden.
You just gotta play his game, man, until he breaks. That's all you gotta do.
Like Jackson didn't even have to say we need to be going now, Caden. You were just like you made him leave. Jackson
He'll be
didn't have to
back.
say it.
He'll be back for more next week at our regular scheduled program.
Well, back to Alabama, Tennessee. How are you feeling about this game? For those that didn't tune in on last night's edition of Pitt's Analysis, Austin.
So, listen, I know Caden, he does it to troll you all, but I picked Tennessee to win this football game, 20-16. I think we're in for a defensive type game Saturday. I think Tennessee's defensive line, I feel like they're due for a breakout game, and Bama's O-line has been shaky at times this year. They've been looking better, but they haven't put a complete game together. And I'm being all seriousness when I say that. I don't think Alabama's untouchable when it comes to their O-line. They've got some issues still. And they're playing a good defensive line in Tennessee, who I think can get home. And if they can get home and get to Simpson, Bama can be beat. That's been shown because that's what Florida State did so well. If you could get to Ty Simpson, Bama's offense will struggle. And with Jam Miller possibly not playing, the run game is no longer going to be effective.
Well, actually, he is going to be playing this Saturday from what we've heard a few hours ago.
Okay, so that's changed since last night.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it sucks making predictions early in the week because, I try to do my predictions as late in the week as possible, but sometimes, like me and Will do our predictions early in the week, You just don't know with injuries. You don't know what's going to happen and stuff like that. And entire game, for example, like, I do take credit for picking Texas, but again, to be honest, I said when me and Will made the predictions, if Mateer plays, I would go with Oklahoma. And if Mateer does not play, then I would go with Texas. Because at the time, we didn't know if he was going to play. Well, he plays, and he was broken, and they got murdered. So I'm glad I picked Texas because I was right, but I technically was wrong because I said if Mateer played, Oklahoma would win. Even though, again, I picked Texas. So again, that shows you how hard it is to make predictions when you don't know the full extent of players' health or if they are going to play, how healthy they are. Because Miller can play and not be healthy.
Well,
you don't know.
Well, and here's the thing too, and it's not like Tennessee's got a bad run defense. Tennessee's got, I think, one of the last I checked, statistical wise, they're top 25 in run defense. It's their secondary. Like, this would be the game for Ryan Williams to reintroduce himself to the entire world. Him and Burton. If the receivers could get going, Bama might win this game, in my opinion, because Ryan Williams is a dynamic player. He's been too quiet too long. And like we said, we don't want to speculate on if he's got something wrong or if there's something in his life. We don't want to get into all that weeds because we're not in his inner circle, so to speak, and we're not experts. But he's been quiet too long. He needs to show up on Saturday. Whatever it is that's giving him the bad juju, I hope he can shake it off because this would be a good game to start back again.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like I always say, the thing that makes our offense so dangerous is the fact that we don't have to have Ryan Williams play good for our offense to be good because of Bernard and Horton and Rico Scott and Kevin Riley and Lotzier Brooks. And we got a lot of dudes, that are playing very well. So that's
Jeremy
great.
Bernard.
So I just throwing out the non-big names, all those guys, but Bernard, he's incredible. I think that if Ryan Williams gives us a decent amount, that makes it even better. But like if he doesn't play well, we got all those other guys playing well too that teams have to watch out for.
And here's my thing. The reason why I say that, and then I do want to talk about Signetti with you real fast before we go, Jeffrey, because I am curious about something. The thing with that, the reason why I keep bringing him up week to week, I'm not trying to beat a dead horse, but we know he's got NFL level talent, Ryan Williams. I think everyone can agree, whether you love Bama or not, you look at that guy and say, he's an NFL wide receiver number one. The Titans, they'll probably be drafted number one. Sorry, Jackson. But if Ryan Williams decides junior year, when he's available, the Titans might be picking number one, unfortunately. Or maybe the Panthers if they regress, which I still can't believe we lost the Panthers, but that's a whole nother day for another topic. Unbelievable. Anywho.
Bryce.
Yeah, Bryce Young's making his name for himself again. Oh my gosh, that's not a Bama player, Jeffrey. Keep it on Bryce Young. How dare you?
I'm just saying the Panthers are 3-3, man. Like finally, maybe they don't suck. They probably are gonna go 3-14. But again, I'm excited about the Panthers. We're not the Jets anymore.
No.
Yes, the Panthers are competent. They might get a national TV game this year. But with Ryan Williams, he has that NFL ability. And what I mean by that is the ability to be doubled. Because look at what Michigan did to him last year in the bowl game. They bracketed him. What they do to Jeremiah Smith. To me, if Ryan Williams is one-on-one, the defense, he's almost lost his ability to burn the defense. And that's what scares me, because if a defense is sitting there saying, I'm not scared of you, then it's like, because you want them to double Ryan Williams because then everyone else is going to get a chance. Or am I way off in thinking that?
I mean, you're not wrong. That is absolutely spot on. If you're going to double a guy, then someone else is open. Absolutely. I just think, again, Bernard and Horton are playing at such a high level, and the rest of our offenses too, that I don't think necessarily that matters all that much. I think more so Ryan Williams struggling, it doesn't make our offense fall apart where we're going to lose games because of our offense. It's more so that Ryan Williams, if he's on and can force those doubles and can be explosive like he was last year, it makes our offense elite and one of the best offenses in the country, if not the best offense in the country. So it puts it puts us at a national championship level versus right now we're just a really, really, really good team. So you're right. I just don't think it affects us necessarily winning games like this. If we're going to play Ohio State in the playoffs, we're going to need Ryan Williams to be, a big, benefactor in that game, big beneficiary. So,
or if you play
that's just the way I feel.
Well, like LSU will be a good test for your offense. Like we'll get to that game in a couple weeks, but LSU's defense, as much as Jackson, you like to rag on Brian Kelly, he's finally got a great defense over there. So that'll be a good test in a couple weeks. But I see your point. I mean, I get what you're saying. It kind of reminds me of like those old Saban teams. I know Jackson doesn't like going back to the old Saban quotes because we shouldn't live in the past. But it's kind of what that feels like, Jeffrey, is because you remember the years, and I'm sure Jackson does, when you had Waddle and you had Henry Ruggs and you had you had a quadruple threat. Like you couldn't cover just one guy. You couldn't just double one because the other two would be like, okay, have fun with that. Like, do you feel like that's what this team kind of is becoming? That again with the triple threat at receiver.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the same type of threat because that quad, triple, threat wide receiver we had was just insane. These guys are different. I don't think any of those receivers, Judy, Waddle, Ruggs, or Smith, none of them were built like Bernard or Horton. They're way different receivers and archetype, but still, we do have a triple threat going on. Because Ryan Williams is still contributing, just not at the level he was last season. So, the Tennessee game, the thing is like, yeah, I agree that Tennessee, defensive line has good players, but Tennessee's defense this season has been terrible. And I agree this is secondary, but I mean, if Alabama can throw the football in the game,
and Tennessee gets in their own way in the fourth quarter with clock management.
I mean, here's the thing. I'm going to give Jackson a shout out on this. Jackson, does Josh Heupel, is he going to have his Bobby Riz on Saturday?
Bobby Hill Riz, no, because he doesn't have it on the road. He always has his coaching record on the road since he became the head coach for Tennessee has been really bad.
They should have lost to Mississippi State.
Oh my God! Like that was
an ugly win, but a win for Tennessee.
I agree. One's a win, like IU at Iowa. I agree. I mean,
and I know
it's not to say with Heupel that the team's bad because they barely beat Mississippi State, but that was a really, really ugly game.
And one thing I've noticed about Bama too, and is they're getting contagious with turnovers again. That seems to be a DeBoer thing. Like, I know Saban always preached defense and everything, but it seemed like, because you remember the teams at Washington, Jeffrey and Jackson, what was the one thing that they always did great on defense? Turn teams over. They may give up a lot of yards. You may get 500 total yards of offense on them, but they always got the takeaways. And that's what he's doing now here at Bama, because Bama's getting contagious with that, because they had, 3 against Vandy? If I remember correct, 3?
Yep.
And I believe they had 2 against Missouri last week, correct? Or 1?
That's correct.
Okay. They're getting contagious with it. Do you think Tennessee will turn the ball over as much as they like to air it out?
I agree with Jackson. They'll turn it over at least once, but probably multiple times.
They'll do that.
Okay. And Jeffrey, and obviously congrats on Mr. Signetti sticking around. I know that had to make your night or day when that news came out. You didn't have to worry about Mr. Signetti leaving you. Like on wedding night, didn't leave you at the altar, so to speak. So I'm happy for Indiana in all seriousness, because it's nice to see a team like Indiana do well. It's nice that we have a little parity in the Big Ten. It's not just Ohio State and Michigan, like it has been for the longest time, and Penn State, of course. So this is good.
Question, Austin. I appreciate that a lot. On thinking it's cool that Indiana is good when most of the country does not, but I appreciate that. I do have to ask though, did you think that Signetti was going to leave? Indiana.
I thought there was a 15% chance. And I even told Jackson this. I didn't specifically say with job, but as we know in this world, if you throw the right money down at someone, you at least have to think about it. And because that's the thing. Like if someone was to offer Cignetti, like let's say Penn State was going to offer him money, which they won't now, but since Penn State's the best job, if they were to offer him, say in the ballpark of, $100 million more than Indiana offered over a 6-year period, or $110 million plus bonuses if he gets a certain amount of wins, I told Jackson he would be stupid not to at least think about it, because not only can you retire with that, but you've got enough money to take your kids to college, your grandkids, and your great grandkids. You'll be wealthy of generations. I was like a 15% chance, but then the other part of me was like, you know what? He's happy at Indiana. He's building the winning culture. I mean, it would have to be a pretty lucrative offer. I was like 15% if I'm being honest with you, Jeffrey. I'd be lying if I didn't say 15%.
I don't think that's unfair to have the 15%. I really don't. I mean, that's a fair percentage. I mean, it's you still thought that he would stay, but there was a slim chance. I would put it more like 5% for me. I thought that it was very slim. I wouldn't say it's impossible. There was a chance, but I didn't think it was going to happen. I thought he was going to stay at Indiana. But I think the possibility that a lot of people miscalculated was that Indiana was going to be actually willing to pay and able to pay. I think that's actually not willing, the able to pay part. I think a lot of people still don't understand that Indiana actually can afford to pay a coach as much money as DeBoer and Kirby and Dabo and those type of guys in that ballpark are making. I think people failed to see that. And I think a lot of people thought, well, hey, he's going to want to go to Penn State where it's better fan base tradition. Yeah. Again, there's an added element, though, with what he's doing at Indiana. He's building a Bill Snyder, Barry Alvarez type of legacy at that. Indiana is I said this on one of my last shows. Indiana is one of the last programs in college football left where you have no coach with an insane legacy. No coach that in 130 years of football at that program has done anything of substantial value. Bill Mallory's the best coach IU's ever had, and he had a losing record because he took him to 3 bowl games or 3 bowl wins and 4 bowl games. Well, Cignetti, if he wins for another 8 to 10 years at IU and goes to multiple playoffs, he doesn't even have to win a title. But multiple playoffs, Indiana's just ranked all the time, and they're great and competitive and relevant. One of the best teams in the Big Ten. Statue built, field named after him, stadium named after him, whatever. Again, like you're not going to get that at Penn State. IU is a dead program. They were dead in football, and he has done this. And again, Indiana's backing him up by paying him and giving him the money for the assistants, and they're getting better players and all this. So it's just a unique situation.
And
okay,
real quick,
so we got to get to your take on the third Saturday in October, Austin. Like, has your final score prediction changed, or is it still the same?
I'm still going 2016 Tennessee.
You gotta keep the prediction.
Yes, Jackson, and real fast. 20-16 Tennessee. I'm going to be a man of my word and keep it. Because if you go back on your word, then you're not a man of your word. 20-16, and if Bama wins, I will come right back here and admit I was wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't change your pick just because of one thing. But I will say this, though. Last couple things, Jackson, and I want to bring these up to Jeffrey. People forget, Jeffrey, but Indiana is a very wealthy school. Like, people forget. They're one of the most valued programs in history in both basketball and football collectively. People don't realize that, but they make a lot of money in NIL, and even before that. Like, if you look at the most valued schools, Indiana was top 5, I believe it was, and across the board. Like, people want to go to Indiana. Indiana's a destination school you want to be, especially if you're going to be a basketball superstar. I mean, look how many people they put in the pros, Jeffrey. You talk about it all the time. Thomas Bryant, Victor Oladipo. I mean, The list goes on and on. Indiana is a very valuable program, but people think, oh, because their football program has been dung heap, that they still don't get money. No, Indiana still, their fans love Indiana regardless. I mean, like you said, Jeffrey, they were 1-8 one year, and they still filled a stadium up with Tom Allen. They love their school.
I think the thing that frustrates me so much, again, I'm not saying I was the only person out there that was saying this, because that's not true. I'm sure there were other people. I don't know who those people are, but I'm sure there were other people. But I recall several years ago, it's crazy to say that it's been several years now at this point, that I talked to Mark Rogers himself, the voice of college football, about Indiana. And I said, when Tom Allen was losing in 2022, and they've fallen off the map after the 2019-2020 season, I told Mark, I said that Indiana football could win if they wanted to. They have the money. They just never committed. They could have committed to Tom Allen. It wouldn't have been like this. They wouldn't be winning like this. But if they had committed to Tom Allen, then he could have won more. If they had given Penix an O-line. But didn't happen. They let him go, and they got their guy in Cignetti, and it worked out that he's elite and nobody knew it forever. But again, I told Mark, I said, Indiana's got the alumni. They've got the money. It's untapped potential. Indiana in this age can win. And I'm not saying that he or everybody else thought I was completely crazy, but that basically was the response. And I was not wrong. I was right. Indiana is a fantastic program, a fantastic university. Well, I mean, they got good academics, but not so much so to the point where people can't go there. We know some schools like that. So they can still get guys. But it's like they've got one of the biggest alumni bases in the country, all over the country. And all it needed was a winning program. Now that you've got a winning program to back that up, you see how IU is full force out all over the place. I mean, you saw the fans at the Oregon game.
Yes, there was, like, if I would have told you 3 years ago, Jeffrey, and be honest with me, I want to ask this and get to my final point. If I would have told you, Jeffrey, there would have been 20% of IU's fan base in Eugene Stadium 3 years ago, you would have looked at me and said, really? No, maybe 5% if you're lucky. Would you have not?
I agree 100%, Austin. There have been no fans.
And real fast, Jackson. And it's the same situation with Duke and Kansas, Jeffrey. Me and you have talked about this. Me and Jackson. Like, people thought Lance Leopold was a bad head coach. And me, Jackson, you have all said, no, he's not. If the school would actually invest in football, they would do all right. And look at now they're investing in their football program. Look at him now, Jeffrey. I'm not saying he's going to win the Big 12, but Kansas is no longer the laughingstock anymore. They're no longer that guaranteed win like Indiana is. Look at Duke. They're no longer considered, oh, that's going to be a dub on our schedule. Duke could win the ACC this year. The way the ACC's turned out, Manny Diaz could win the Blue Devils the ACC title. I mean, it could very well happen.
Carolina football has a lot of untapped potential too, just like all those other programs, but they're not hiring the right coach.
I mean, unbelievable to say this, but
I see you down there. I see you. I know. I get that. North Carolina has a lot of potential as a football program, but they won't do it like these other programs. They will not do it. Bill Belichick was one of the worst hires of all time. That was abysmal.
Yes, Jackson, I am looking forward to it. If Indiana and Bama do play in the playoffs, I kind of want to see where Jeffrey leans, because I know he loves him some Cignetti. But I want to see if he stays faithful to his family roots or if he turns on them and goes.
I'm just gonna watch the game. I'm gonna root for both. I mean, the thing is that Alabama's won 6-7 national titles. If Indiana hasn't done it, it'd be cool for them to do it. But I mean, I can't root against Alabama, so it's not feasible for me to do that.
Oh my God!
How is that way in here? It's just facts.
I'm sorry, okay? Jackson. Don't fire me. I didn't mean to get you.
It's just facts. I don't want to see that game. Honestly, I don't want to see that game. I would rather
Yeah,
either
you know what's gonna happen.
Alabama lose before a potential matchup.
Hey, Caden's gonna have a field day. Caden's gonna be happy, win or lose, because he'll either get to rag on your Indiana team or this Bama team. But
Dude, he rags on everything, man.
Okay.
but yeah,
Also,
anywho.
we're going to
Yes.
get our next caller, and we'll definitely continue soon. Goodbye.
Yes, roll Tide, roll Hoosiers,
Roll
and
Tide,
roll
Appreciate it,
Cards.
Austin. Have a good night.
Good night.
And roll
See you
Cardinals.
soon. Goodbye. And we've got Lucas Hill from South Carolina at the Voice of College Football joining us on the line. How you doing
I
tonight?
hate you, Jeffrey, for saying 6'7". Really? Did you have to throw that in there?
Oh, was that from what? Oh my God!
You didn't notice that, Jackson? You didn't hear him say 6'7"?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
That's what. Yeah, it's like good grief.
I don't understand the freaking meme, dude. Guys, I've been getting crapped
I've been
on
hearing about
Twitter.
that from South Park last night. It was on last night, so
Yeah. Yeah, it's a cult now.
Oh my God.
Dude, guys, I have been getting crapped on Twitter the last week. I make a mistake. I say South Carolina Athletics has 2 to 3 combined postseason appearances in baseball and basketball. Everybody just bam, 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 bam.
It's
hammering
okay,
on me on
Lucas.
South
You say
Carolina
one thing
Twitter.
wrong on the internet, they will fry you. They
At
come
this
for
point in
me.
time, Jeffrey, I'm used to it at this point.
It's okay.
Because I've been having to do this for the last several months.
It just
now-
means that you're relevant enough for them to care. That is a compliment, Lucas. If they're mad at you, you're relevant.
They're
Okay,
jealous of
that
the
is
audi-
a
They're
compliment.
jealous of the audience that they can generate because South Carolina is such a small market when it comes to that media sphere.
Mhm.
They have one of the they can barely get guys that are really relevant to gain a huge audience. They have those Believe guys that have like the Welcome Home podcast. One of their co-hosts was telling me, "Oh, you're dumb. Oh, you're this and that." Brother, you have like less than 100 people that listen to your podcast. Shut up. I got over 250 that listen on a daily basis. So shut your mouth, all right? And that's not even
Facts.
an attack at him, bro. This is just beast better facts at this point in time. But I mean, nobody likes whenever I tell you the truth about South Carolina, and I'm excited for our conversation because I'm on next week. Am I right, Jackson?
That's right. Monday for South Carolina week, 7 p.m. Eastern
That's
time.
gonna be fun.
Oh man. Well, we will be able to talk about Bama, South Carolina for that week.
Gosh. I've had to worry about Oklahoma all this week, bro. And when I watch them on tape, this is the best defensive line in the SEC, dude. Just depth-wise, you have got to see what these dudes do whenever it comes to twists, stunts, different things that Venables puts on film. Oh my gosh, this is a perfect tech tape for any clinic if you're a coach.
Venables' defense is finally sticking at Oklahoma, and
The
that is
question is,
why,
can it get
that's why they're
consistent?
better.
The question is, can you get consistent? Because we've seen the same story for the last several years. You start off hot. Got a Heisman Trophy contender at quarterback. He gets hurt. He comes back and he rushes the injury, tries to get back in the game like Red River. I think they went with John at the end of the day, despite not practicing all week, because they saw what Mike Hawkins was doing against Kent State, or they saw something in practice that they didn't like. And they said, oh, shoot, we may not win with this cat at the end of the day. So I get the decision, but at the end of the day, guys, you really should have went with Mike Hawkins at the end of the day. But that'll be fun whenever y'all play them at the end of the day. I'm excited to see that trench warfare that y'all have with Oklahoma and Alabama, but it's going to be a good one this week, man. You and Tennessee, I think that this is going to be a high-scoring game. I've heard a lot of guys that say, man, this one could get up into the 30s and 40s about like, I'm not going to say it's going to be what it was between Hendon Hooker and Bryce Young a couple years back, but damn, it's going to be close. It is going to be a high-flying air raid, a freaking tack. Really excited to see this football game, guys. Are any of y'all, Jeffrey, Jackson's called into the final whistle. Are you going to call into the final whistle very soon?
You talking about Jackson and Austin's show?
No,
No,
he's
no, no,
talking
no,
about the SEC final whistle on
Oh.
SEC at the Voice College Football.
What time is it on? Because I know I go live on Saturday night. So
It's the last SEC game of the night. After that ends, that's when I go live.
I can try to go on there if I have time. I have a lot of people that actually want me to come on their shows on Saturday night. I've had several, and it's like I go live on Saturday night, and
Dude, you're
it's
up
kinda,
for like 3 or 4 hours on your show.
it's kind of hard to go live on, like, be a guest of someone else's show when I'm doing my own show for like forever.
Jeff,
Then I gotta
understand,
wake
bro.
up
You
on
can
Sunday
talk
morning.
football for 5 damn hours. I was so shocked to see that.
I was still going with no Red Bull, no mysterious juice that Caden was talking about or
You
something.
drink Red Bull?
No, I don't drink Red Bull. I don't drink
Jackson,
anything.
do you drink any energy drinks? That's a good
No.
man. Y'all are smart.
Appreciate it. I tell people all the time because I've had probably 100 comments on my channel. Dude, you must drink so much Red Bull. You're going to die at like 30. Okay, no. I don't know about that last part, God forbid, but I will say that I don't drink Red Bull. So it's like, I don't know how many times I have to say that. You either believe me or you don't, but I don't like caffeine outside of a little bit of sweet tea every now and then because that is a Southern staple. Other than that, I don't drink any of that junk. I don't like coffee. I don't do any of that. So I wake up. It's a burn. It's like you just have to wake up. You got, a little bit of oatmeal, a little bit of cereal. That's it. No coffee, no Red Bull. Don't do any of that.
What were you trying to say, Jackson?
I was going to say, it did kind of feel like Jeffrey's been on 25-hour energy today.
I know.
He's rocking and
Chris
rolling.
Signetti got a contract extension. That's why I'm rocking right now because of the fact the whole entire world said that was not going to happen. And I was like, yeah, it is. And again, I don't ever get any credit for anything. Sometimes you just like, hey, Jeffrey, you were right. Again, when I'm wrong, I get told that. Jeffrey, you're an idiot. You thought that DJ Lagway was going to be the number 1 quarterback. Well, I told you Mendoza was going to be top 5. So again, you always criticize people like me and Lucas and Jackson when we're wrong, but when we're right, never, ever outside of some of our great chat members. It's few and far between that happens.
Well,
never get any comments people saying that we're right.
Yeah.
Hey, that's just the way it is. When you talk on the internet, you always get blasted for when you're wrong. Never when you're right.
Well, we have one viewer and subscriber that is always grateful for us. Rough Rider Returns. He says, many of us are grateful for the lights of you 3 guys. Well, we are grateful for the lights of you, good buddy. We always appreciate you tuning in to each of our channels.
And he's a great Oklahoma fan. He roots for Oklahoma. We appreciate him.
Go Sooners at this point. I have Oklahoma winning it, man. I mean, if you can't get anything going on offense, which you have struggled to do, I mean that there's no point. Your offensive line sucks. That's the best way I can describe South Carolina at this point in time. It is just that you are not consistent whatsoever. You've had 9 of the 12 halves of football that you played. You've had to make a change on your offensive line. That's not going to win you a football game. That won't win you a football game. You have 3 offensive linemen that you don't know if it's going to play on Saturday, which gives you an even bigger talking point at this point in time. Knowing that you're not even going to know what your starting O is going to be, and knowing that you're probably going to have some more moving pieces, it's going to be very frustrating. But I'm out of here, guys. I got to go to work in the morning at 8 o'clock in the morning. I just posted all of the things that you can follow me on in the comment section. So y'all make sure y'all go follow them. We're live on X, on Gamecocks Inside, and at Lucas Hill SEC. Y'all help us get the Gamecocks Inside to 20,000 followers on X, bro. We are on the road to doing some great things. Y'all holler at the voice of college football in South Carolina and the SEC channel, guys. We are excited for what all is going there. Get us to 1,000 subscribers on South Carolina. Let's get to 2,000 for the SEC channel, guys.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Let's get there. Let's get there.
Always a pleasure. We'll see you guys on Monday. We're going to get after it, baby. I'm excited for this one. It's going to be a great weekend of college football. It's going to be a great weekend of sports in general. NBA is back in a couple weeks. We got college basketball coming on in a couple weeks. It is going to be awesome, and I'm going to have to stress out over this because Lamont Paris sucks. I got to deal with another year of freaking Paul Maneri at the helm for baseball. And guess what? I'm still loving South Carolina football for some daggum reason, even though I've only been covering them since May. Good to see you fellas. Y'all have a great rest of the week.
You too, man.
Absolutely, Lucas. And I was going to say, and my final response there was, you always hate it for guys like Colin Murray Broyles, man, that has a great season and you're on a horrible basketball team. It sucks because he was a good player. But I watched South Carolina get blown out versus Indiana basketball last year in a non-conference game, and if you're getting blown out against Mike Woodson, Indiana, you're not not a good team. But hopefully in the future, South Carolina basketball will get better for Lucas Hill, and hopefully Shane Beamer can get more consistent, because that is something I definitely want to ask him about when we do our show on Monday. Why is Shane Beamer so inconsistent from year to year? One year good, next year bad. Definitely want to hear his thoughts on that. So that's going to be exciting. Can't wait for that show with Lucas.
Oh, no doubt. It's going to be a fun one. And, of course, you'll see Jeffrey and I next time at 10 p.m. Central Time, 11 p.m. Eastern. Although I did kind of move it down by 10 minutes because something tells me the game won't end until then. So I don't know why, but I feel like it's going to be that way. But that's why we're here for all of you on Alabama Voice College Football. So y'all tune in to the Alabama-Tennessee postgame show. We start as soon as the game is over. Jeffrey, what magic have you got cooking this week, good buddy?
I did our Mia Will and D show on Tuesday night, going over every single Week 8 college football game. I'm sure that I'm going to be wrong on a ton of predictions because I always am. Predicting games, it's like one of our callers said tonight. Not good at picking games, or don't usually like picking games. Picking games is impossible. All right, my NFL predictions are even worse than my college football prediction. I was like at 68% after 3 weeks, and now I'm barely over 50%. So that is like a 17% regression in 3 weeks. I'm tanking because the NFL can't make up its mind which teams actually are good and which teams aren't. So again, we all get games wrong. We can't get them right. So even though my predictions in the NFL are tanking, check out my NFL predictions to see if this week I'll do better. And in college football, maybe me and Will and D's picks will age well and not like milk or something like that, whatever they're saying these days. Again, appreciate everybody for subscribing to Only Talk Sports. The support there has been amazing. I'm trying to get to 3,000 subs over there. You guys have been awesome. Follow me on X as well if you want to know when I'm going live, when we're going live at Alabama Voice of College Football, and any other sports topics I want to discuss on there, because, again, there's always stuff going on in the sports world. Like Lucas said, we're at that time of year where everything's culminating, MLB playoffs and, the World Series and all that kind of stuff. You've got the NBA coming back, college football and NFL. It's amazing. Great time of year. College basketball is returning. We love it. And also subscribe to Alabama Voice of College Football if you haven't already. Doesn't matter if you are an Alabama fan or not. We've got tons of fans from other great teams as well in our chat. We appreciate them so much. And we're getting close to 3,000 subs. Could not do without you guys. And absolutely, I don't usually let Jackson do it. Check out the Jacksonian, because Jackson makes great content on his channel as well. Episode 83. I remember when he debuted the first episode. Again, time flies when you're having fun. Jackson's at 83 episodes. He's a busy guy making a lot of episodes, and each episode better than the last. Definitely go check that out over at the Jacksonian. Appreciate that if you do, for sure.
I appreciate it, man. And I won't spoil too much, but we talked a little bit about Netflix getting involved in the world of college football. What part is that in? That's why you tune into episode 83 of the Jacksonian. And for more episodes of the Jacksonian, check me out on Jackson Johnson 979, where I'm 289 subs away from that magic number 1,000 at 7-11. Love that number. Better than the number before that 3 times after it, of course. But so you can check out that the Jacksonian and who I've got on for the next several episodes. Who am I having? That's why you tune in. And you can check out Pitt's Analysis Final Whistle from Sports Talk with Austin and myself. And you can check out my appearances on Locked On West Virginia with Mountaineer Paul. And for more updates, what I've got going on with Mountaineer Paul on Locked On West Virginia, appearing on there 2-3 times a week, and on Alabama Voice College Football the Jacksonian, and the twice, 3 times a week calls on the Feinbaum Show, however long that's going to last. Check me on Jats VOCFB on @/Twitter and on Instagram. That's JatsJones543908. But before we sign off here, we've got the YouTube membership tiers of Alabama with the Voice of College Football. For $2.99 a month, you can become a Crimson Faithful member where you'll have loyalty badges next to your name in the comments in the live chat, custom emojis to use in the comments in the live chat, and you get member shout-outs from all of us. Like the Godfather, for example. We always give him a shout-out because he is a YouTube member of Alabama Voice College Football, giving out the Roll Tide Roll on the number 1 finger and the Voice College Football Alabama logo. We love it very much. We appreciate him for always tuning in and oh man, love the show. There we go. Let's go. Member for 9 months. Like that, he is an OG, man. Like,
Appreciate it, Godfather. Always appreciate it.
we always appreciate it, good buddy. We thank you so much. And for $4.99 a month, you can become a Saban Disciple, where you'll have priority replies to comments and access to a monthly hangout from yours truly, Jackson Johnson and Jeffrey at Only Talk Sports. And for $9.99 a month, you can become a Bear Bryant legend, where you can connect on social media with each of us and give out content requests of any kind. Neither rain nor sleet nor snow nor the weird weather of Alabama will put a stop to us from fulfilling your content request on Alabama with the Voice of College Football. And you can check out our merch store in the link down below in the chat, where you can get top-notch merch, top-notch shirts, polo shirts, the dad hat, the other hats. We ought to add some toboggans, let's be real, but that's okay. And the game day mug, the tumbler cup, and much more. All right there on Alabama with the Voice of College Football. And be sure to check us out on Spotify, Amazon, Apple Podcast, and iHeartRadio if you want to give us a listen on Alabama with the Voice of College Football. And with that being said, we wish you all a good night and to sleep well and stay safe, stay warm. It's cold out. Like, comment, subscribe, click on the notification bell so you never miss another video or episode whatsoever. And we are going to see you Saturday night. And roll
Roll Tide.